Treyarch's Zombies mode has had a shaky history these past few years. For just over a decade, the Zombies community has been growing with every new Treyarch release. Well, until Black Ops 4 crashed that community and set us back a few years. Now with Cold War being released, there had been potential to bring back the giants of the Zombies community. But as these last few months have shown us, that hope is dead in the water. I've been playing Zombies since the release of Black Ops 1, and I think Cold War Zombies is on par with Black Ops 4 Zombies, both being at the bottom of the barrel. Now I did enjoy Cold War Zombies at launch, but I think it was more so because I was starved of new Zombies content for the past few years. But after the first couple days, the flaws in the game mode were popping up all over the place. The maps, the gameplay, the story, your character loadouts, and the difficulty, just to name a few. I believe these reasons are why Cold War disappointed me. The quality of maps in Cold War Zombies is worse than Black Ops 4, with far less maps at launch. Treyarch decided to take 2 steps back in map design, but instead, we can now pause online games, a trade-off that isn't too well worth the loss. The only reason they're able to pass these off as maps is the fact that they're giving them out for free. Otherwise, I don't think many people would pay to have their face spat at with this extra content. The maps have ripped out parts from campaign and multiplayer. They're not even unique in their own regards. They lack any real personality, often feeling empty and unfinished, especially when compared to unique stories we've had in the past, like Gorod Crovey and Mob of the Dead. Some of the best maps before the series spiral into abyss. It's a shame knowing we won't reach the peak of old Zombies games when we're being served dirt like this. Cold War Zombies is beneath what we had to suffer through in Black Ops 4 Zombies, but not by much. Everyone in Zombies should be on an even playing field, so tell me why I have to upgrade my gear through a progression system that hasn't been implemented on any of the past Zombies games. Is this the only way Treyarch could add replayability to their game, so devoid of content and community? Most people picked up Zombies when they were tired of multiplayer and decided to try other modes on their games. I can see why it would be refreshing to have all your unlocks brought over to Zombies so that your efforts stay with you. But Zombies has always been about anyone being able to start a game and just play. No one should be left out of pointless upgrades that should be in the base game to begin with. Grinding for these upgrades just gives people more time to see the flaws in the game that they're playing, so they quit. Cold War's story has been pretty mundane compared to the previous Treyarch games we've been given. Whoever at Treyarch decided not to have memorable characters to play made one hell of a poor choice. It is hard to get invested into the narrative of Cold War when the characters are empty and bland. The characters no longer interact with each other and the environment, but instead, they tell you exactly what's going on in your game to guide you. It hurts the atmosphere, which in turn can bore you out of the decent gameplay at hand. Looking back at any Black Ops 3 map, just launching them would immediately set the tone for what you had ahead of you. Even d.i.e had a better opening cutscene than what we've been given in Cold War. All we have now is people just driving on into the map. It's no wonder why the storyline feels hollow. The character loadouts should not exist. You start off with whatever gun you want, whatever attachments you want, then you're on your way, only having to hit the box for the ray gun. You start off strong with your great gun and never really have the power struggle you had in previous games before Black Ops 4. There's no progression from that weak, overwhelmed character with an inferior pistol to the unstoppable force once you're all set up. With Cold War, you're already there at the top, with no way down. You once again have your specialist abilities in your loadout, where you spawn in already imbued with power. You're also free to switch them with other ones whenever you please, if that wasn't already enough. It is something most people are sad to see return in Zombies. The ammo boxes have single-handedly made one of the most prominent power-ups, max ammo, redundant. Ammo boxes are a complement to the already spoon-fed character loadouts. You never have to hope for a max ammo popping up, so you don't have to swap out your gun, but instead can refill ammo fairly cheap at many convenient locations. It takes the gun variety out of the games, and just leaves you with an easy method of obtaining ammo with no repercussions. A max ammo was a sought-after power-up, which could only potentially drop as one of your 4 drops per round to hopefully refill your ammo. But now a max ammo only saves you 10k, by you not needing to rebuy ray gun ammo for your high round camping strats. The score streaks are a bigger get-out-of-jail-free card than Widow's Wine ever could be. The salvage and score streaks encourage camping and easy gameplay. The chopper gunner is a popular choice as you're protected from oncoming zombies, while you can rain down on the zombies from above, only to leave you with piles of salvage to rebuy another one for whenever you get stuck next. Alongside, the self-revives in Cold War Zombies, an item which you can repeatedly purchase until you run out of salvage, which will never be the case in higher rounds. You never have a sense of worry in this version of Zombies as you're given unlimited opportunities to save yourself from ending your game. The revive system is horrendous, and Treyarch have just implemented a way to be more accepting of players constantly down. There's never any growth to learn how to react in situations. Instead, people accept the down knowing that they'll be fine. A huge step away from Zombies' Core 3 self-revive system. The perk system is also a downgrade from Black Ops 4. Sure, we get our original perks back, but they just feel like the empty shells of the great perks they once were. You have to upgrade your perks through tedious gameplay just to get a taste of what the old versions were. In Black Ops 4, you are stuck with whatever 4 perks you put in your loadout, but to make up for it, you had a variety of unique perks to choose from. But this meant that you couldn't swap out any perks mid-game if you wanted to switch up your strategy, which kinda sucked. I'm sure people are happy to see the old perks return, but now not only are you able to get your original perks, but there's no perk limit. You can just buy them all. It makes the gameplay more repetitive as you just set up the exact same way every game, as you're not forced to limit yourself. It was seen as a challenging reward to get more than 4 perks in the previous games, but now you don't have to choose between 4 perks. When you were rewarded with a perk in previous games, you'd be given a perk bottle, which would give you a random perk. While in Cold War, you can see what perk can is on the floor, taking any actual thought of whether or not to grab the perk. It just takes the fun out of it. The perk just adds to the basic gameplay as a cherry on top. Not a real cherry, but those shitty sugar ones that no one likes. Finally, difficulty. Zombies at its core has always been about struggling through the early rounds, to becoming a god by round 30, and fighting through an onslaught of ever-increasing zombies. In Cold War, you start off as that god, and never get a glimpse of a worse life. You can stay in the spawn room whenever you damn feel like it. You have your starter loadout with a great gun, and your specialist ability. You have an ammo box which you can buy from, and the crafting table almost immediately. The only time you leave is to pick up a few perks and get the ray gun for your instant power spike, and you can see yourself off to whatever round you'd like as long as your game doesn't crash, especially with the infinite self-revives, chopper gunners, and armor to protect you at every step. I stopped enjoying this game barely a week after its release. I think that it's because this game, at its core, is not the zombies we all grew to love. It's one of the worst zombie games that have ever been released. Alright, that's it for this video. For those of you who like Cold War, this is my opinion and why I think the game has disappointed me. Alright, laters.